Hey there, it's JohnBerry555 and welcome to my full review of Star Wars: The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 16, Plan 99. So if you haven't seen my spoiler-free review, don't bother checking out. I literally tell you there to go watch the episode, then come to this video because I could not talk about this episode without revealing spoilers because just too much happened. Tragedy. That's the one word to summarize. This is a tragic end. But it also does mean that there's probably going to be a season 3. Thankfully. I was actually convinced that we might get only a 2 episode series. But looks like we're going to be getting a season 3 because if Star Wars does, and Lucasfilm do not complete the storyline, they're going to anger a lot of people. So where to begin? Well, Plan 99, well, remember what happened to 99 in the Arc Trooper arc of Star Wars: The Clone Wars at the very end where he sacrificed himself? Yeah, that's Plan 99. Tech institutes Plan 99 in order to save the rest of the Bad Batch. They go back to Old Man Town City because they need AZ3 to give them medical attention. Finally, they've got him, and they've finally got him with them. Though Sid betrays them to the Empire. But you can also tell that she's not happy about it, which is not something I expected. But she's looking out for her own self-interest, which is what that gangster all the way a couple episodes back had to predict. And seeing that episode, that was one of the first episodes really showing us getting a lot of Tech character development. We saw a bunch of character development for Tech throughout this season. And so when Plan 99 did it, it was perfectly building up. Like, come on. But at the same time, do I trust Dr. Hemlock's claim that Tech perished and he only was able to save his glasses? Honestly, I'm not so sure. It's probably true. I think for the emotional story beating, it should be true, but there's no guarantee. But yeah, so Omega, of course, does get captured right after Hunter and Wrecker are captured by Dr. Hemlock. But because of Echo, at least Hunter and Wrecker are freed, but they have no idea where Omega is. But we know Omega has been taken to Mount Tennis so that way Dr. Hemlock could get Lama Say's cooperation. And yeah, and crossers are being experimented on. And we figure out that that one Imperial technician, whatever, Emery, yeah, she's a clone. She confirms it if she's telling the truth. But it wouldn't surprise me at all. We were all getting that impression at first to begin with. So now we know of another female clone trooper. So that means we know 3 female clones. We got Omega, who, well, we don't know too much about Omega, but we assume biological female. No, that's her genetic modification, for lack of a better description. Um, or just different genes activated. We don't know anything about Emery, but we do know in the book Brotherhood, and I think also Queen's Shadow. I think I haven't read that one, any of those books yet, but we know a transgender clone named Sister. So we don't know where Emery falls on that from biological to transgender. We do not know. But I'm getting the impression because there's more focus on the genetics going on that she's probably more like Omega. But I could be wrong, but is she even telling the truth? That's another thing we got to wonder. There's a lot of interesting stuff, and that's probably what's going to be explored in season 3, hopefully, when we get it. But lots of interesting stuff, and of course, Crosshair's there. And Crosshair, I think, is being experimented on, but for what purposes, we don't know yet. But also, at the same time, now that Omega's there, maybe Emily may start questioning Dr. Hemlock. I don't know, because remember, Crosshair didn't only stun her when he made his warning to the Bad Batch. I don't know, but there's just so much happened this episode, and ended on a bummer note, pretty much. The only positive is AZ is now with the rest of the Bad Batch. Well, not rest, but is not with Sid anymore. That's like the only positive thing I can think about that happened at the end of this episode. So yeah, well, at least it's something positive. But this also does mean it elevates the stakes for season 3 that much, which is no good storytelling to elevate the stakes. Especially when these are emotional. Sure, we care about what Hemlock is doing to the clones and how that's going to help the Empire, but the real thing that's elevating the stakes in this episode is Omega's capture. And the claim revealed by Emery that she's also a clone, sure, that's neat and all, but that's not part of the emotional stakes of the emotional storytelling. It's just another intriguing part to the plot. But really, The stakes were elevated in this episode with Omega's capture. Well, first Record and then Hunter's capture, but truly the stakes at the end of the episode is emotional all around Omega's capture. Is she going to be safe? Will the Bad Batch successfully rescue her? Will she, Crosso, and maybe even Emily and the other clones will somehow rescue themselves? We don't know. But these stakes are all emotional. It's not Death Star, it's not Starkiller Base, which at times definitely can work in certain scenarios, especially in the way they were presented as the all-encompassing threat of an evil empire. But here, for a personal story about characters, you need a personal stake. You need an emotional stake. And that is what this episode provides. But I think that's where I'm going to end this review. Please let me know in the comment section down below what are your thoughts on this episode. I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, if you don't really know if enjoyed the right term because of the bummer stakes of this episode and the bummer conclusion, but bummer in a good way because it sets up so much good stuff and it was well executed. But you know what? Like, upvote and share the videos to help promoting the algorithm. I'll say that instead if you enjoyed it because I don't feel comfortable asking that, even though I just did, but I did it in a roundabout way. The tragedy of tragic episodes makes it harder to do uplifting and positive reviews about them. But anyhow, if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel and ringing that bell to be notified, because definitely when Season 3 is coming out, I'm going to be talking about it because I want to know what's happening. I want to know, is Omega safe? But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you, always.